So just sitting in a way that's comfortable, but ideally with an upright posture. I'll ring the bell to officially start the practice. And as usual with these practices, either closing your eyes, or if you prefer, you could sort of half close them and gaze downward with an unfocused gaze. And make any little adjustments if you need to your position. So that you're sitting comfortably enough that you can, minimize movement, not get too distracted by discomfort. Maybe actually notice the overall condition of your body right now. Feel your body making contact with the chair or whatever you're sitting on. And now just bring your attention to the fact that you're breathing. So hopefully you are already breathing. If not, you might want to start, but likely you are already breathing. And of course, we're breathing all the time, awake or asleep, and just not usually paying attention to it. So now paying attention, noticing the details, the sensations that you feel as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Just let your breath kind of happen in its natural rhythm without controlling it. But also notice when you're breathing in and when you're breathing out. And you can tell which way the breath is going, whether it's moving in or out, by feeling various sensations. And notice where you feel those sensations. If you're able to breathe through your nose, perhaps just having your mouth gently closed and feeling the sensations of the air flowing in and out of your nostrils. If you're not able to breathe through your nose, then of course just breathe through your mouth, and same thing, feeling the air flowing in and out of your mouth. You might even notice a temperature difference, that the air might feel slightly cooler when it's moving in and then slightly warmer when it's moving out. As best you can, feel your breath sort of stay with it through the whole cycle, through the whole inhalation from the start to the end, and through the whole exhalation. Notice if you feel your breath through the movement of your chest. The chest rising and falling. And another place where you might feel your breath is in the movement of your belly. So the abdomen may expand outward a little when you breathe in because of the diaphragm pushing downward. And then the belly will come back inward when you breathe out. Or just notice if your belly does move like that. So you might feel your breath in a variety of places. Usually we don't feel any sensations from the lungs themselves. We feel our breath from all the areas around the lungs that are moving. So just riding the waves of the breath sensations, feeling the breath moving in and out. And if you notice your attention wandering, if at any point you realize you're not feeling your breath anymore because you're lost in thoughts or your mind, your attention has gone somewhere else, that's okay. Just notice where your attention had gone to and make note of it. And then just refocus again on your breath and just feel it. Feel this breath right now. And then feel the next breath and the next. Staying with your breath like that until your mind drifts off, until your attention drifts away, and then start over again. So the breath is the sort of center of focus, center of attention. And as best you can, kind of letting go of everything else. Letting go of or taking a break from all the usual thinking and doing and planning and worrying that we engage in so much of the time. Instead, use this time to just be. Time to be aware of and to savor the present moment. And remember, if you find it difficult to just be with your breath and ignore other things or let go of them, well, that's quite normal. It's bound to happen that something pulls for your attention, or that the focus can't be maintained for a long period. And that's okay. Each time you just start over. So kind of using the breath at this point as an anchor, something to keep coming back to if you drift away. In fact, the breath can always serve in this anchoring role, because any time in the day, well, especially when we get lost in thoughts, caught up in emotions, we can just notice that we're breathing and focus on our breath. Make that the center of focus for even just for a minute or a few minutes or 10 minutes or whatever. And during that time, there can also be this letting go of everything else. And we can focus on anything that's happening in the present moment as a kind of anchor, as a way of being grounded in the present. There's a lot of things happening in the present moment that we're experiencing, not just the feeling of breathing. So another option is to be with all the sensations of the body, more of a wide open focus. So seeing what that's like now to expand your awareness. So instead of just being with your breath, that you're open to your whole body. So it still includes the breath sensations, since that's part of the body. But notice how you can feel body sensations all over, from head to toe. Being aware of all the sensations on the surface, the body, from all the nerve endings in the skin, but as well being aware of sensations inside the body. So we've nerve endings all over inside the body, inside our muscles and bones, joints and organs and tissues. Actually, the brain is the only organ that doesn't have any sensory nerves inside it. Notice all the different types of sensations happening in a variety of locations. Maybe notice how sensitive the skin is to touch. Some places you might feel very intense sensations of contact, like where your body is pressing against the chair. Or some places you might feel just very light touch. Notice if you feel contact of your clothing against your skin. Or if you wear glasses, you might feel contact of your glasses with your face. Notice all the different kinds of sensations in the muscles. Muscles of your body, you might feel warmth or coolness. You might feel tightness or looseness. You might feel muscles being stretched or squeezed. Notice any sensations from your stomach or digestive system. If you find that anywhere in your body there's sensations that are unpleasant, what we might label as pain or discomfort, one option is to move or do something to try to ease the discomfort. And if you do that, see if you can do it mindfully with awareness. But the other option is to perhaps just allow the discomfort to be as it is for now and even explore it more closely. Bring your attention right into the area of discomfort and just explore what exactly it feels like. Is it a dull ache or a sharp pain or maybe burning or itching or pulling or some other sensation? Notice if it changes or if it moves. If you're exploring an area of discomfort, you could even sort of consciously breathe into the area and then breathe out from it. Breathing in as you feel it, breathing out, just letting it be, letting it relax. Or at any point, you could open up to the whole body and the whole mix of sensations, pleasant and unpleasant and neutral. As best you can, just being open to the whole sensory field of the body. There's a lot of details. We have millions of different nerve endings that allow us to feel all kinds of body sensations. And of course, if your mind wanders off at any point, just as soon as you notice that's happened, just notice where your mind had gone to, and then gently bring it back. Just gently, patiently starting over, coming back, in this case, to your body and feeling sensations. If you find it that your mind doesn't want to keep quiet, that there's lots of thoughts happening, remember that you don't have to push your thoughts away. You don't have to make your mind go blank or anything. Instead, just sort of accept that thoughts will come and go, allow them to come and go. But you can do so without sort of engaging in them, without getting caught up in them. Maybe now moving your focus again, but now away from body sensations and shifting attention to the sense of hearing. In other words, just noticing sounds and noticing that you are hearing sounds. You've been hearing sounds throughout the meditation, certainly the sound of my voice, maybe other sounds that have come and gone. But now making that the center of focus. In other words, paying attention to details, even the most subtle of details about whatever sounds come and go. notice how many different sounds you can detect, even if you're in a fairly quiet space. Notice which are the loudest, most prominent sounds. And then also notice which are the softest, most quiet sounds that you can detect. Just being open to the whole soundscape. Or coming back to it if your mind wanders off. Noticing how your ears are kind of like microphones. They're just taking in sounds. Of course, is very useful. So perhaps appreciating that you have ears that can hear. As best you can, just hearing sounds, not analyzing them or labeling them or anything, just hearing them. But if you find your mind does start commenting on them or labeling them, just notice that those are thoughts, which is a sort of separate thing than hearing. And throughout the meditation, regardless of what we were focusing on, you have likely noticed thoughts coming up, whether you want them to come up or not. Sometimes the more we don't want thoughts to come up, the more they do come up. You may have noticed certain thoughts coming up more, maybe thoughts about something in particular. So now shifting our focus and making thoughts the center of attention. Just bring the same open curiosity to the observing of any thoughts that come and go. So as best you can, not holding on to thoughts, not pushing them away. Notice when thoughts come up, if they come up sort of as individual thoughts or in a whole bunch together or in a chain. Some thoughts may just be like clear words, or some may be just images or just vague ideas or feelings. Notice if thoughts come up that feel pleasant or that feel unpleasant, and notice all the rest that are neither and just neutral. You might notice when thoughts come up that there might be thoughts about the past or thoughts about future events, thoughts about yourself or thoughts about the meditation. Notice when thoughts come up if they're in the form of planning, remembering, worrying, analyzing, judging. And of course, anytime you get carried away in your thoughts, kind of sucked into the stream of thinking and just lost in the thoughts, when you realize that that's happened, that realization means you've stepped outside the stream again. And then you can just go back to watching it flow by. And in fact, if you find a visual image helpful, as we're watching our thoughts, you could imagine that you're just watching a stream of water flow by. Maybe even imagine that they're leaves from the trees that have fallen in and are floating by. And then whenever a thought comes up, just picture the thought on a leaf and just watch it float by. Notice how thoughts come up, as well as other experiences like sounds and sensations. But there's a part of you able to be aware of those things. And that part of you is separate from the thoughts and other experiences. Notice if you kind of can sense the observer part of you that's able to observe, it's able to be aware of all of this. So now letting your awareness be completely open to all of it, to any experiences that come up moment to moment. Kind of laying out the welcome mat for whatever shows up, whether it's sounds, thoughts, feelings, sensations. Being an observer and seeing if you can allow it all to be here. Bringing a kind of acceptance and non-judgment. In part because whatever is here is already here, whether we want it to be or not, whether we accept that it's here or not. It's here. Whatever it is, a sound or a sensation or a thought or something, of course, it may be here one moment and gone the next. Notice how all these experiences are changing so much moment to moment. So just sitting for the last couple of minutes of the meditation in this kind of choiceless awareness, this openness. Just letting things be and noticing how rich each moment is with so much happening. Sometimes people complain of being bored, feeling bored when nothing's happening and nothing interesting seems to be going on. But actually, if you stop like we're doing now and just notice what actually is going on in the moment, you start seeing there's a lot going on. So many different sensations all over the body, sounds coming and going, and of course, other experiences through the rest of our five senses. And in our minds, there's thoughts and emotions and impulses. Even if sitting like this as an observer, even if you find it difficult and you're struggling in some way, see if you can even observe that. Notice what's going on with that struggle, what thoughts and feelings are coming up, what experiences you're having. Just staying with this moment to moment awareness until you hear the bell ring. And even then, be mindful of the sound of the bell and see if you can, even after the meditation, maintain some of this awareness, maybe throughout the rest of your day. Noticing, appreciating, savoring all the experiences, all the things you see and hear and touch and smell and taste, and all the thoughts and feelings that come and go.